Hi, everybody. My name is Joy Andreasen. I am a psychic medium, spiritual teacher, shamanic energy healer. Today, I want to talk about how to incorporate your spiritual practice into your busy lives. Now we find ourselves in social distancing things. We find ourselves isolating at home. We might have children at home and we're educating them. We may have regular jobs and we may be working from home, or we may be going out to work. And a lot of people tell me that they don't have time to meditate or to engage in their spiritual practice. And I found that to be a problem for many years. When my daughter was young and I had a full-time job, I had a husband, I was going to, meetings, spiritual meetings, and being in a position of authority. I often found that to be a challenge of really setting aside time to really get into my spiritual practice. So what I really found, and what I was instructed by Spirit, is that, a lot of people want to tell you that you have to spend a certain amount of time meditating or, praying, whatever it is that you do for your spiritual practice. And I like to meditate. And I feel like what I've discovered over the years is that, yes, it's wonderful if you have an hour to sit down and meditate. That's wonderful. If you can do that once in a while, that would be great. But most of us don't have that on a daily basis. And so really, it's important to give yourself a break and meditate when you can. There are so many different ways that you can incorporate your spiritual practice into your daily life. One of the ways of meditating, one of the more popular ways, is called mindfulness meditation. And when you're doing mindfulness, you can do that while you're washing the dishes. You can do that while you're combing your children's hair. You can do that while you are driving in the car, even though, obviously you want to be paying attention to your surroundings. But so many people are distracted drivers anyway. They're listening to music, or they're listening to the news, or they're talking on the phone. Obviously, hands-free, if your phone has one of those things, you can talk on the phone. But that being said, if you can listen to music while you're driving, if you can do all of these other things and still pay attention to the road, then you can practice mindfulness. And what mindfulness is not going into an altered state of consciousness at all. It's being fully present in your body, being fully aware of the things that you are experiencing, the things that you're seeing, being fully aware of what you're hearing. And so you can do that anytime. Just be present, be in your body. Pay attention to the sound of the clock or the sound of the water running as you're washing the dishes or taking a shower. Be fully aware of the sounds that you hear. You might hear birds chirping outside, or you might hear dogs barking. You might hear traffic going up and down the road. If you live in a big city, you're going to hear all kinds of sounds. And so mindfulness meditation is really not about separating yourself into a different experience and sitting quietly and emptying your mind. It's really just about paying attention, being present in your daily experience. When you're eating food, you are paying attention to, what does the food taste like? How does it make me feel? What kind of things, what kind of senses are being aroused by the food as I'm chewing it? And am I aware of that food in my mouth, and the experience of swallowing the food, the experience of holding the spoon or the fork in your hand? Just the whole experience can be a state of meditation. And so a lot of times we don't think about that. We don't have to separate ourselves from our daily life in order to meditate. We can meditate. I remember when I had a full-time job and I was also doing this on the side, and I would get to work 20 minutes early. I would sit in my car and I would meditate. And meditation can mean many different things to many different people. But, and I have several ways of meditating that I'll talk about in another video. But for today, what I want to talk about is how it doesn't have to be hard. Sometimes we put too much emphasis on how to do it and what you can do and what you can't do and how long you have to do it, and you have to be sitting in a certain position, or you have to be focusing on your breath, or you have to be counting your breaths, which is one way to meditate. But there's so many like rules, and sometimes we're thinking, okay, did I count to 4, or did I do this right, or am I breathing right, or am I holding my posture right? Am I doing all these things? Oh, I just thought about the dishes. Does that mean I have to start over? So, I would just give yourself a break. Just give yourself a break. Just take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and pay attention. I like to meditate when I have a little time to just sit and listen to the clock ticking. Just listen to the sound of the clock and not really focus on anything in particular except the sound of the clock. And if my mind wanders, then and I realize it, then I bring my attention back to the clock. Or if I'm washing dishes, I'm listening to the sound of the water. I'm listening to the sound of the dishes clanging together, or the sound of what I'm putting in the drainer as I'm draining the dishes, or the sound of the cat meowing behind me, or and just paying attention, and not just sounds, but what kind of feelings am I feeling? Feeling your skin, feeling your fingers and your toes, just feeling what it feels like to be aware. And awareness is just something that is, most of the time it's unconscious, but it's so important that we bring our focus back and remember that we are souls living in a physical body. And all the things that we're experiencing in life, we're missing most of them because we're not paying attention. And really, one of the important things about living our lives is to live our lives with awareness, to be aware of the birds chirping outside, or the frogs, or the sound of the trucks and cars going by down the road. Being aware of children playing outside. Being aware of a bunny rabbit running in front of you as you're driving. Just being aware and being appreciative. And that's another thing you can do as you're going about your daily tasks. Thinking, what can I be thankful for? I can be thankful that I have running water, that, I just turn a knob and it comes right out of the sink, and all I have to do is then wash the dishes or use it for cooking or drinking, whatever you can use it for. Just be thankful for that. Be thankful that you have a bed to sleep in. And if you don't have a bed to sleep in, then be thankful for sleeping on the floor. I remember at one point in my life, I was living in an empty apartment. I had a mattress on the floor, and I had a couple of chairs and a treadmill, and that's pretty much all I had. And I was perfectly happy with that. And so, we all go through things in our life, and if we can say, it's okay, it's okay, life is good, and I'm grateful for the things that I have. I'm grateful that I have an empty apartment with a mattress on the floor. I could be just sleeping on the floor. At least I had a mattress. So there's so many things that we can do to have a spiritual practice, even if we are going through challenges, even if we are finding that our time is condensed and we are juggling many different responsibilities, especially now with all of the things going on in our lives, with, trying to educate our children, trying to incorporate our spiritual practice, trying to focus on our career and our family, and all of the things that we have in our life that is demanding our attention. That if we can just breathe, if we can just be grateful for the moment, then we have taken huge steps in creating a better world. And how are we creating a better world? Just by doing that. Because the only way to create a better world is to create a better world within ourselves. So just for today, I want you to think about that. I want you to be aware as you're driving, as you're shopping, as you're educating your children. And if you find yourself getting frustrated, just take a step back, take a breath, and say, it's all good. It's all good. Have a great day.